I'm Jeff Philbin, and this is Dinner DeeAs, where we're sharing a recipe for risotto with the tips and tricks that you need to get this rice dish just right. My guest today in the Dinner DeeAs kitchen is Chef Jacob Reyes. He's the executive chef with Union New American in Tampa. His other cooking credentials, he appeared on Food Network's Chopped and won. He's trained at world-famous Culinary Academy at Le Cordon Bleu, but most importantly, he learned to cook in the kitchen of his Puerto Rican grandmother.
That's correct.
But that's grandma right there?
That's her.
That's her. But you're going to be cooking up some arroz and zucchini risotto, which we're going to be serving with salmon. So I'm stoked for this. Yeah. And it looks like you've already started a little bit of the process here. So what do we got going on so far?
So I first wanted it to start with the butter and throw in some shallots, brown the butter a little bit so it's aromatic. Now that it's at this point, I'm going to add my arborio rice.
Okay.
And it's very important not to rinse your rice because you need that extra starch to make that risotto creamy. So all I'm doing is stirring the risotto in, all I'm doing is stirring in the arborio rice.
Okay.
So it becomes a little aromatic. So I'm basically toasting the rice.
And all of that nice butter that you had just kind of starting off, you took it a little bit more. Correct. So that way it's got more of a nuttiness behind it, a little bit more warmth behind it and that flavor. Because, you know, let's face it, my friend, risotto to a lot of people can be a very intimidating dish.
Correct. Even to myself, if I'm honest with you, when I was in culinary school, I probably burned it 5 times before I got it right.
Okay, so it may happen to some folks.
Yes.
That's what you're saying, but you learn and you grow from it.
Correct. So basically, now that I'm at this point, that the risotto is nice, toasted, I can smell the brown butter.
You can really smell that. Yeah. You really get that.
I throw in this bay leaf, and the bay leaf is just gonna perfume the rice. Okay. Right? That's a secret that my grandmother uses for her rice. So
I was going to say, I don't see a lot of risotto having a bay leaf in their dishes.
So I learned that from her. Okay. When she's making like white rice or even her famous rice, she always, that's the only thing I've been able to peek and see. Okay. One of her secrets is you throw in the bay leaf.
So when you were like in the kitchen with her, was she like, no, you gotta go? Or like, what was happening that you weren't able to?
Pretty much. Yeah. Like, I mean, she would send us off to the living room and just peel the peas or just clean the couch or do something else, and by the time I peek around, she's already done.
She's already there. That's so funny.
So I season the risotto with a little bit of salt.
Okay.
A little bit of oil. And then I'm gonna crack just a little bit of pepper.
Okay. And
throw in the white wine. Just to deglaze the pan. And again, we're just building different layers of flavor. You can use whatever you like to drink. Okay. You know, if you got a good Chardonnay, you can pop it in there. Very important, don't throw in anything that you won't drink because it does affect the flavor, you know. So you want that nice sweet wine goes in there, and once it's almost like that is evaporating.
And when you say like that, like what does that mean? Because right now I'm seeing it evaporate out. Yep. I'm seeing it kind of start become almost glue-like, right? Yes, it's starting to go, and it's lost a lot of that viscosity. All that liquid is kind of just going.
Yeah. So the secret to building your risotto, it starts with this. So you add liquid slowly at a time, about 2 ounces at a time of liquid. And the trick is you're gonna stir a nice little wooden spoon like this. That way it doesn't scrape the pie. And just in a circular motion, try to keep it always to the same direction. Slowly, you're gonna be adding the stock. So now that the wine is basically almost all reduced, I'm gonna start adding vegetable stock, a layer at a time.
A piece of this. Most folks would actually be using a chicken stock, but a vegetable stock allows now a vegetarian to be a part of this dish. You can have so much more versatility now with that vegetable stock.
And I do like the vegetable stock. Again, it's just, I build different flavors with the brown butter, with the toasting of the rice, the bay leaf, the shallots, the wine. So instead of using chicken stock that is very flavorful, protein driven, I'm just adding vegetables.
Very cool. To get risotto ready for your dinner, grab Chef Jacob's recipe at our website, dinnerdeeas.com. You can, of course, find us with that box in the corner of the screen, a QR code, which works like this. Open the regular camera app on your phone, point at that square as if you're about to take a photo, and a link to us will pop up for you to press. All right, well, you're kind of stirring away at this. I want to help you. What can I do to help you?
So if you can pop on this side. Okay. We're going to switch gears now. So take the zucchini and just pop it on the tray.
Okay.
About 3 garlic cloves of that, if you can smush it real quick.
Sure.
And then what we'll do is we'll add some shallots in there.
Now, what is this for then? What am I doing this all
So
for?
here's what we're gonna do is we're gonna build our zucchini puree, which that's the base and flavor of the actual risotto. So what we'll do is we'll throw in the zucchini in there, a couple of those garlic cloves, season it with salt, pepper, olive oil.
Okay.
And don't forget the shallot. And we're gonna roast them in the oven for about 15 minutes so they're nice and golden brown.
Very nice.
And that's the secret of this risotto. That's where the flavor.
This is where that flavor comes into play.
And I'll continue to cook the arborio rice here. It's continuing to get creamier by the minute.
And we don't need to add like water at a time. No.
Oh yeah, nothing at all.
Okay. All right. I'm going to pop this into the oven here. And you say we're going to roast this at 400 for
about 10-15 minutes. Yeah.
just to get some beautiful flavors. While we roast and risotto, yeah, it's a verb now. We're going to take a break. When we come back, how those two combine ahead on Dinner DeeAs. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs, where rice is on the menu as we make a zucchini risotto with salmon. Thanks to my guest today, Executive Chef Jacob Rios from Union New American in Tampa, where this is actually on the menu. Before the break, we started the risotto, heating butter and sauteing shallots, then toasting the arborio rice, not rinsed, then added a bay leaf, used some white wine to deglaze our pan, and then started adding hot vegetable stock, one ladle at a time. While we did that, we got zucchini, more shallots and garlic on a sheet tray with some olive oil, salt, and pepper, and then pop that into the oven to roast. And it's done that. We're just letting that cool for a little bit as you are still kind of stirring the risotto here. And like, this is a dish where it's like, you don't want to just dump all the liquid in and be like, oh, cool, it's going to cook it.
Yeah, so you basically want the starch of the rice to mix with the actual liquid to make this creamy consistency. So now that we got at this point, it's very important, pull your bay leaf out. You don't want that in there.
It's done its purpose.
It's done its purpose, so goodbye all little bay leaves. And now at this point, I'm just gonna pull the risotto.
Okay.
Now we can call it risotto because it's creamy like that. I'm just gonna pull it off to the side and I'm gonna start building the zucchini puree.
Okay.
So in the blender, I'm gonna add all of the roasted vegetables. So your shallots, your garlic, the zucchini itself. It's important just to make sure that there's no water at all. The zucchini tends to bleed a little bit of the water out. So once I have all of my vegetables in here, just like that, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of olive oil, and that's gonna be the emulsifier of it.
Okay.
And then to this right here, I'm just gonna dump basil.
Ooh, nice.
That's already plucked like that. Chives. If it looks a little dry like that, just add a bit more olive oil.
Okay.
And we're gonna put it in the back. Okay?
And any spinach going into this?
Spinach goes almost at the end.
Okay, almost at the end.
So let me put this here now.
Chef, how can I help you?
Actually, if you can get me the spinach real
Okay.
quick,
Okay.
a little bit of that.
A little oil as well? Okay.
We're ready for this right now.
Now this will also help with the addition of the spinach. That's gonna make it even more green and just really bring a more vibrancy behind it. Okay. Now chef, what consistency are you looking for over here?
So I'm actually looking to be extremely silky smooth. So I'm at a point that, it's perfect, silky smooth now, so we can pull it.
All right, very cool.
Perfect. So I'm gonna bring it over here, and as you can see, it has that vibrant color
Yeah,
to it.
everything has just come in as one.
That's one.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah. So at this point, now I can bring the risotto back into the heat. I'm just gonna add a little bit of, so in case it gets a little dry like that, I'm just gonna add a little bit of the stock,
Okay.
and then just a little bit of the zucchini puree. And this is also gonna give it that creamy texture. Like if you were adding like mascarpone cheese or heavy cream like that. Again, I didn't want to use those ingredients to make it that heavy.
Absolutely.
Because it is a spring risotto.
I love that.
So if you see, starting to get that green.
And again, it's just another layer of flavor. I mean, taking that roasted zucchini, now adding and folding that in.
Correct. So at this point, I'm going to add a little bit of pecorino cheese.
Okay. And that's going to help bring a little bit of saltiness behind it too.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
And it's also give it a little bit more creaminess. So I'm gonna, like I said, continue to stir until the cheese gets emulsified in the risotto. And at this point that I see the risotto is fully cooked, I'm gonna fold in my already blanched fava beans.
Okay. Now, how important was it to blanch your vegetables before adding them in?
So I first of all, I just blanch them in a bit of salted water.
Yeah.
I do add a little bit of baking soda to maintain the green of the vegetable itself. The purpose of that is that way when the risotto's already done, I don't have to wait for it to continue to cook or whatsoever. It's already done. So all I have to do is just fold it in. So at this point, the risotto is completely done. I'm gonna pull it completely out.
Now, would you have done the same had the peas been frozen?
If the peas were frozen, I would strongly recommend to thaw them out first.
Okay.
So that way it's just a matter of like a 30-second heat up when you're folded into the risotto. That way they don't overcook.
They don't overcook, because once they overcook, then they're going to be like yellowy, mushy. They're not going to have that bright burst of color that you're looking for and that texture behind it.
Correct, yeah.
Oh.
That's exactly what we're doing.
This is what you want.
here.
All right.
Yep.
What's next then?
Okay, so next we're gonna do our fresh tomato relish. So just in the bowl, we have grape tomatoes. We're just gonna add a little bit of garlic.
Okay.
A little bit of chili flakes just for that extra kick. I have some minced shallots, fresh basil. There we go. And then let's fold in the basil.
Okay.
And then I'm going to help you season it with a little bit of pepper.
Okay.
A little bit of salt goes in there. And then we're going to add the acidity of the lemon juice and the olive oil.
And that's it.
And we're going to push it off to the side so it can marinate. So when we're done with our salmon, that will go with the salmon.
Oh, this looks so nice already. Clean, fresh.
Fresh and clean. Yep.
This is good?
Awesome. Yep, that's meant to go. We'll add our olive oil now.
Okay.
And there we go. That's our relish.
That's a relish. I'm relishing in our time together, my friend. But it is time for us to take another quick break. When we come back, how to sear a sensational piece of salmon to go with our risotto. Ahead on Dinner DeeAs. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs, where we're working with rice and doing risotto right. Thanks to Chef Jacob Rios from Union New American in Tampa, where he's taken a recipe from the menu to share with us. A zucchini risotto, which we're serving with salmon, which we're cooking in a moment. Before the break, we took the bay leaf out of our nearly done risotto, then got our roasted zucchini, shallots, and garlic from the oven, and blended them down with olive oil, chives, and basil, then adding spinach to make a puree, which we stirred and folded into the rice, along with some pecorino cheese. Added some blanched vegetables, fava beans, asparagus, and peas, then made a super simple tomato relish, combining chopped cherry tomatoes with shallots, garlic, basil, crushed red pepper flakes, lemon juice, and olive oil, just a little salt and pepper, and letting it sit to find its flavor. And it's just doing its thing, because we got salmon next.
So now let's move to our salmon. I did add the olive oil in there so it can start getting warm. Just gonna pat it dry a little bit.
And what does that do for the salmon?
So
like when you're patting it dry?
It helps it sear better. You know, sometimes fish, they can be a little moist like that. So I do want to pat it dry, so just take some of that moisture out. At this point, I am going to add a little bit of salt. The pepper, I will leave it for the other side. That way, I just want to focus on my presentation side first.
Okay.
So just on it, always throw your fish away from you.
You know what, the trick with getting fish just right, because like you said just a moment ago, like the presentation side, I think that sometimes folks think they overthink it.
They do. And honestly, like to cook salmon, all you have to do, again, just pat it dry so you get a nice sear. And of course, the temperature of your skillet, it has to be medium high so I can get a nice little sear. Don't mess with the salmon too much, just a gentle pull away like that. At this point, I am going to add salt to the other side. And then just a little bit of black pepper.
And then how do you know when to flip? Because this is a good sized portion. This is a nice thick cut.
Yes. So I'm just going to watch for the bottom of the fish is going to be turning a little bit of color. So at the top is that dark orange. You're going to slowly start seeing, you'll probably flip it a little bit. and start seeing it there, like starting to turn whiter, right? And you can kind of start seeing the Maillard reaction, which is that browning that you get from the protein itself. So at this point, I'm just gonna let you stain. So again, it takes about maybe 2 minutes, if that, just to get a nice little sear. At this point too.
And you also like to keep the skin off on this too.
I do, yeah. So you can either go skin on or skin off. If you do skin on, which that's one of my favorite things to eat, just start with the skin first and just let it do its thing. Just salt on the skin and let it sear. That way you can get that crispy skin. So at this point, I'm gonna continue to check on the salmon.
Oh, looks absolutely beautiful. Because to grab the recipes for Chef Jacob's idea for dinner, go to dinnerDeas.com. Scan the QR code in the corner of the screen to find us right on your phone.
All right. So I'm gently gonna press on this fish a little bit.
And what will that do? Because you always hear that when it's like you're making a bird. Don't press it. The juice is for loose. But why and for what purposes do you find?
The only reason I'm doing this is I want to start feeling the firmness of the fish. The fish, you will know that it's fully cooked once it starts getting firmer. So I mean, at this point, I'm gonna check real quick, and it's ready to so I can flip it.
Oh,
and just gonna flip.
Look at that color.
Flip the fish.
That was absolutely stunning. And if you want to make this for your dinner, we want to see how it turned out. Email us at dinnerdeas@fox.com. That's what Brian did. He's watching us in Venice. Hi, Brian. I'm guessing the Florida one, not the Italian one, although that would be really cool. He made the chorizo, shrimp, and Gouda grits recipe shared by Pitmaster Chad Ward and said, "It was my first time making grits being from New Hampshire, but my family and I agree that this recipe was a winner. Many thanks to you and Chad for a new Dinner Diaz staple in our kitchen." Brian, that looks absolutely fantastic.
Like it looks great.
Like, come on now, look at how we put this all together like that.
Restaurant quality dish right there.
Dude, would you put that on the menu?
Of course.
You would.
Yeah.
Brian, you're in good company, my friend. You are in absolute good company. While we finish searing our salmon, we're taking a break. And while we serve it up when we come back, ahead on Dinner Diaz. Welcome back to Dinner Diaz, where a risotto is our recipe today. A zucchini risotto with salmon, to be precise. Thanks to Chef Jacob Rios from Union New American in Tampa. Before the break, we started searing our salmon, patting it dry, then getting it into a medium hot pan, waiting until the color changed to flip it, then basting with olive oil we cooked it in. And you actually seared it all on all four sides. To make sure that you were getting just what, that color and texture?
So I love the texture of the salmon when it's nice and sear. You know, some people just like to sear at the top and that's it.
And they do the flip and that's it. You know,
I like every bite to be nice and crispy like this. So now that the salmon is pretty much done, I just hit it with a bit of cold butter in there just to give it that extra richness and glossiness.
And a little bit of that fat content too.
So that, yeah, correct.
Very nice.
So at this point, I'm just gonna pull it off the heat.
Okay.
And just like finish emulsifying the butter there just a little bit north.
Oh.
And that's basically gonna be the gloss on the fish.
Love that.
All right.
You ready to start plating this up? Because this looks beautiful already. Like, like I can't wait to see what you're gonna do next.
Yeah. So at this point, I'm just gonna come over here.
Okay.
And I'm gonna pull the fish out of the pan, very gentle and careful. I'm gonna put it here. As you can see, all the sides are nice and golden brown.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Back to the tomatoes. Now they're finally marinated. All the flavors are blended in there. And just like to put the tomatoes like that off to the side. Okay. Also, that juice that is from the tomato marinade, that's what I like to just drizzle a little bit on top of the fish.
Because that's going to act a little bit of the acid behind that too. It's just what's happening with those tomatoes releasing itself.
Correct. So all of that garlic, lemon juice in there. It's just gonna help brighten up the dish of the salmon itself. And now, at this point, we are ready to plate our zucchini risotto.
Okay, I'll slide this over for you, Chef.
I'm just gonna move this.
I'll move this over for you.
Here. All right, so for the risotto itself, if you do let it sit a little bit while you're finishing the salmon and stuff like that, all you do is add a little bit more of that vegetable stock just to create this creamy texture one more time.
Okay.
So a nice spoonful. That'll be the serving of the risotto itself.
you know, because like risotto for some can be intimidating, not just because of its preparation, but to make it look like restaurant quality. So, all right, so we've got it in the center of a beautiful plate, by the way.
Thank you.
What's going on next?
So now that the risotto is in there, I'm gonna add one of my favorite cheeses, which this one is stracciatella. It's the inside of the burrata cheese.
So it's got just like this beautiful creaminess.
Creaminess, yep.
Now, what happens though if you can't find stracciatella cheese? Like, what can you use in its place?
So if you can't find stracciatella cheese, you can either put a little bit more of the pecorino cheese that goes on top.
Okay.
You can garnish it with your favorite creamy cheeses. So there's other options that you can use.
There's some other options.
Yeah. So now that you have this here, you're just gonna add a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of the earth mix, just you know, make it a little fancy and give it some color in there.
What a joy.
Just fresh black pepper just to season the cheese itself, because the risotto's already flavorful as it is.
Okay, so then really you're just bringing that just to the cheese.
Just to the
Don't
cheese
really
itself, yeah.
go too crazy on the rest of it.
And that's our zucchini risotto.
And that was it.
That was it.
Chef, we got to get a little bite on this one here. I got to I got to go in for this one right here.
Oh, man.
Superb. Superb. Thanks to Chef Jacob. A link to Union New American is at our website, dinnerdeas.com, along with the recipe for this risotto, relish, and the salmon. I'm Jeff Philbin. See you next time with more ideas for dinner, as we call them, Dinner Dias.